Hey Banu, Hare Krishna.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Where's the puppy?
The puppy was postponed.
Oh, I thought that we will have a new member on our Zoom call tonight.
No, no, it might be a little while.
All right. Um, Today I'm doing on the phone, so I won't be able to share the screen with everyone. Mangalarti said that he wouldn't come because he's on the Rath Yatra.
He's always so busy.
It's,
Something.
yeah, it's very inspiring. He travels all around, always doing seva. Really inspires me. Where he said that he'll be in Seattle. Yeah, that's cool.
Do
I'm
you want to
not
wait?
sure
Do you
if
want to
someone
wait and see
else.
if someone else arrives or?
Yeah, let's see. It's 5 past 5. I think we can start, and then someone will join us. We can just pause and welcome. So we are in the part 6, God Krishna.
You know what page that
Eh,
was?
Uh, um, on Kindle is 43, but I think that on the book is different page. I'm not sure. Let me know the page, by the way. Hey, Kala,
Hare
welcome.
Krishna.
We stop on in verses 7.8 to 11. When Krishna will identify himself with some objects. So there is a numbered list. I think
Yeah,
it's more from the middle to the end of the chapter.
yeah, it's page 38 in the paperback.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought that would be different. I just wasn't sure. Would you like to start to read?
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
in
or
verse,
Kyle, I don't know. Kyle, you're in the car, but I don't know if we're stopped somewhere or driving.
Uh, no, I'm driving, so I won't be
Okay,
able to read. Yeah, thank you.
no problem.
in verses 7.8 through 11, Krishna identifies himself with the following types of objects. 1. Essence of beings. Krishna is the life and perennial seed of all beings. 2. Virtues in people. Krishna is valor in men, austerity of the austere, reason of the rational, splendor of the splendid, unselfish strength of the strong, and desire consonant with dharma. 3. Traits of nature. Krishna is taste in water, the light of moon and sun, sound in space, pure fragrance in earth, and splendor in fire. 4. Sacred objects. Krishna is the sacred syllable Om in all Vedas. What does all this mean? Krishna makes that clear, for he frames these identity verses with what I call origin verses, which he places both before and after them. verses declaring that Krishna is the origin of objects and qualities that he claims to be. Thus, Krishna identifies with those objects and qualities in the sense that they are his creations, with the creator being both one with and different from the creation. To make this clearer, let us look at the origin verses for 7.8 through 11. In chapter 7, immediately preceding the identity verses, Krishna declares that matter is his inferior separated energy and that souls are his superior living energy. These two energies are the source of all creatures, who are, after all, souls in material bodies, and Krishna is the source of these two energies. Thus, Krishna is the origin and dissolution of the entire cosmos, not to speak of objects within it. Indeed, there is nothing beyond him, and all this world rests on him like pearls strung on a thread. The objects of the world are not fully God, rather they emanate from and rest on him. In that sense, they are one with their maker and sustainer. Moreover, within the identity verses themselves, Krishna states, "Know me as the perennial seed of all beings." Bija, seed, also means primary cause or principle or principal origin. Thus, powerful origin verses both precede and inform the identity verses. Finally, completing the frame, a strong origin verse concludes this section of chapter 7. Know that all virtuous, passionate, and dark states come from me alone. I am not in them, they are in me. Since the three material modes, virtue, passion, and darkness, permeate all material things, Krishna is clearly saying that all states in the universe come from him. Thus, explicit origin verses can be seen to frame the identity verses. Krishna is teaching that
Would
creator.
like to, sorry, would like to pause and comment something? Or Kala, maybe something that capture your attention.
Yeah, I just really appreciate how Charlie Dave is like helping to explain these sections of the Gita, how there's origin versus, and identity versus, and it helps me anyways understand sections of the Gita better, which I really appreciate. Sorry, I've got my window open, that might be too noisy. But yeah, I really appreciate how he lays everything out. I love reading this his guide to the Gita. It makes like after reading the Gita so many times over the years and having classes and hearing about it and hearing Prabhupada speak about it, Acharya Dev's writing just like even makes it make more sense to me. It could be because I'm a simple person, but it really helps. It really helps.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, for sure. I think that it's a guide, right? So the intention is to help people to understand more all the meanings that are in the Gita. We have countless meanings, countless teachings. Um, Something that captured my attention here, it's the following types of objects. This list for me helps a lot because when Krishna starts to describe all the poetry, I'm the taste of water, I'm the sacred syllable, on and all Vedas, all these things, the light of the moon and the sun. Me partly, my mind stays always lost in all those adjectives. I always stays immersed so much that I totally lost the track. For me, it helps a lot. See this number at least.
I try and wrap my head around it. It's it seems inconceivable how everything emanates from Krishna, but he also permeates the whole creation. Like it comes from him, but then he enters within it. Um, and it's nice to think about, but it's really hard to wrap my head around just how the whole creation comes to be. Like it's mind-boggling that Krishna can do this.
And we're also in him.
True.
That one always gets me. He says, "I am in everything, and we are in him." Right? It's just he's inconceivable. He's inconceivable, and for our material minds and senses to try to comprehend that, it's impossible. It's I think literally impossible. I like when he says we will come to him, and when we finally get back to Goloka Vrindavan, to the spiritual world, we'll have full knowledge and bliss, and Satchitananda, right? And that also blows my mind, that we'll have full knowledge of everything. I believe I could be wrong. That's how I understand that. If you Prabhu's understand that in a different way, please let me know, because I could, if I'm wrong, I don't want to be wrong. But that's how, we go back to him. He says we'll have full knowledge of him. We'll have full knowledge of everything, because we'll have our spiritual body, and we'll be
I'm
given
not
full
sure if
intelligence.
I understood your doubt, Cal.
I can't quote exactly, and I don't know exactly where it is in the Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, but Krishna says when we come to him, we will have full knowledge, right? Because right now we have such limited knowledge to our material world, our material bodies, ourselves, like our position in our material world. And when we eventually reach Goloka Vrindavan, we're going to be given spiritual bodies. We'll be in Satchitananda as well, just like Krishna, full consciousness, full knowledge, full bliss. And it's hard to conceive even what that would, mean, having full knowledge of everything. You know? And I think I asked if I'm incorrect in saying that once we get there, we have full knowledge of everything. If I'm wrong, please let me know, because that's what I think it means. Of course, this is a question for someone with far beyond the spiritual path than I am. But if you guys know, please let me know.
I mean, I like thinking about Krishna's opulences more than just in the terms of like the things he has. When we hear the word opulence, we think of like possessions and accoutrements and things like that. Um, but Krishna's described as being full of all opulence, and that includes things like his mystic potencies and even this aspect of him that permeates the entire universe. Like that's one of his opulences, and being in full knowledge of Krishna, just being able to perceive him clearly. Like if we could see Krishna right now, we'd see him inside of everything, like every atom, and we'd see all those things inside of him. Just we'd perceive it all at once, just as it actually is. And I think that understanding would come just from perceiving it. If we were able to actually see Krishna as he is, we would automatically understand. Because the absolute truth is just absolute. If you see it, you see it. There's no dimly lit piece of it, that's harder to get. It's absolute. And so I think once we do actually see Krishna as he is, then there won't be anything unseen. Um, because Krishna is all there is to see, you know?
I think that maybe the verse that you're referring to is 10.10. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. But I'm not sure. So, because there is the 10.10 and there is the 10.11 that says, to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
I'm thinking of something else. Thank you. I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, those 4 verses there that start with 10:8 are very important. I've heard that it says those 4 verses are all you need to know about the Bhagavad-gita. There's a special name for those four verses that start with 10:8. Oh, I'm thinking of something else where yeah, I'll have to look it up. Maybe I'll find it and I can add it to our WhatsApp chat once when I have time to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry wasn't on very long, but I'm going to be heading into Arti right now. So enjoy the rest of your class. You guys get together. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hello. Should we continue the readings now?
Yeah, do you want to go?
Krishna is teaching that, yeah. Krishna is teaching that creator and creation are one but different. The fifth feature of God mentioned in the previous subsection. To help us grasp this, traditional scholars often cite the analogy of sun and sunshine. In one sense, the sun is present in sunshine. Thus, sun and sunshine is one thing, sun shining. And yet, fortunately for us, all the sun's heat and light is not present in the sunshine that warms and lights our world. Conclusion: sun is both one with and different from its rays. God is like the sun, and his creation is like the sun's rays, one and different at the same time. Indeed, later in the same chapter 7, Krishna states that after many births, one who knows him to be everything comes to him for shelter. Thus, knowledge that God is everything leads not to declaring oneself God, but rather to submitting to the Supreme. In chapter 10, Krishna gives a much larger set of identity verses, with a few repeats and some additional categories. Here, he even more powerfully frames this with origin verses. I will again first list categories of identification and then provide the framing origin verses. So yeah, everything emanates from Krishna and back to Krishna, right? Krishna identifies himself with the following in 10.19 to 38. Essence of beings. Krishna is the soul in every being's heart, the start, middle, and end of beings, consciousness of beings, seed of all beings, mind among senses. Second, virtues in people. Krishna is the wisdom of the wise. Of feminine things, his fame, beauty, speech, memory, reason, firmness, and forgiveness. His splendor of the splendid, godness of the god, of the good, right conduct of those seeking victory, and the monarch among men. Third, traits of nature. Krishna is the radiant sun among luminaries. Of water bodies, the ocean. Of mountain ranges, the Himalayan. Of all trees, the fig. The king of beasts, lion. Wind of purifiers, the shark of great fish. Of rivers, the Ganges. Of months, trailhead. Of seasons, flower source, spring. Trailhead indicates Margashirsha, November, December. 4. Sacred objects. Krishna is Samaveda of Vedas. Of sounds, the one that does not perish. Of offerings, the quiet chant. Of hymns, the great hymn. Gayatri, of metered chants. Of science, the spiritual science. The following categories are found only chapter 10. That is what Krishna Kala was saying, I guess. 5. Cosmic forces. Krishna's time among driving forces. Is and perishing time, all face and creator, all taking death, the coming forth of all that will come, the beginning, middle, and end of creations. 6. Verbal traits. Of those making claims, Krishna is the conclusion. He is A among letters, the pair among linguistic compounds. 7. Social traits. Krishna is Dyson among deceivers, the rod among subduers, and silence of secrets. 8. The best of celestial groups. Krishna is Vishnu of Adityas, Maruti of Marutus, Moon of Nakshatras, Indra of gods, Sankara of Rudras, Kuvera of Yaksharakshas, Vayu of Vasus, Begetter Cupid, Prahlad of Daityas, Vasudeva of Vrishnis, Arjuna of Pandavas. 9. A celestial or divine paragon of groups that includes celestials and humans. Krishna is a skanda of military leaders. Citrarata of Gandharvas, Ananta of Nagas, Varuna of aquatics, Aryama of forefathers, Yama of controllers, Brahma of weapon bearers. Then, celestial exemplars of nature. Here, Krishna identifies with a celestial object as an exemplar of a natural category also found on earth. Krishna is Meru among mountains. Of horses, nectar-born Ukairasvas. Airavata of lordly elephants. Vajra of weapons. Of cows, Kamaduki. Azuki of serpents. Garuda of winged creators. 11. Priests and sages. Krishna is Brihaspati of priests. Virgu of great sages. Narada of god sages. Sage Kapila of perfected beings. Vyasa of seers. Ushana of sages. In chapter 10, Krishna frames 20 identity verses with a full 11 origin verses, beginning with this. Krishna is the origin of gods and great sages. He has no origin. The various states of beings come from him. Great sages and manus are born from his mind. We should learn in truth his yoga, mystic power, and vibhuti, glory. For he is the source of everything, and everything emanates from him.
Manan is trying to join and they're having difficulties.
Oh, thank you for saying. Didn't pop up here. Participants. Oh, it's here. Sorry. Thank you, Banu. Hey, Manan, welcome. Sorry, I didn't see the message popping up.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks to Banu that told me. Haribol. So we're discussing here, you're reading the part 6 of the book, where Acharyadev explains the characteristics of Krishna, and Krishna is telling to Arjuna where he is, right? Which animal can represent him, which celestial group, verbal traits, social traits. I personally never see any other scripture in any philosophical line that explicitly God reveals himself in such a way, so specifically. So I really like this part.
This was this chapter was reminding me of just as a whole I think it's called a Jagannath Ashtakam. And there's a couple verses in it that like you can look at the deity form all day long and not necessarily see Krishna. And there's this bhajan that's basically saying that I'll have to look it up. Praying for Lord Jagannath to be the constant object of my vision, not just looking at the deity, but actually seeing Krishna within the deity, and to kind of have this meditation for the Lord to be the only object of my vision, for me to actually be able to see him when I look at the deity, or throughout my life in general, just outside, like all this stuff, it all emanates from Krishna. Like this whole manifestation, it's coming from him. My life is coming from him, and he's so hard to see. Even though he's all that there is, he's so hard to actually perceive. And I was just thinking of this bhajan, kind of in that mood that I wish I could actually see Lord Jagannath when I look at the deity.
When you're talking, I was thinking Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatame, because that's it, right? We want to see
Yeah.
Lord Jagannath
I think
everywhere,
that's the
all the
bhajan.
time.
But it's sometimes you can be looking right at the deity and still he's elusive, sometimes hard to see.
It's a process, right? It's a process of evolve our consciousness and clean our hearts and purify our minds and senses to see God. This reminds me that uh, when someone asks to Prabhupada, "Oh, can you show me God?" and Prabhupada replies something like, "I can't show you God, but do you have eyes to see God?" Right? Because there are two different things. One thing is to show God. Another thing is to be capable to see God everywhere, in everyone, right? On the Gita, chapter 2, verse 48, I think. Let me check here. When Krishna talks about yoga, perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. And then on verse 49, O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So the equanimity is yoga. This process of evolve vision, evolve senses, it's devotional service, right? And one cannot exist without the other. One cannot perform yoga. One cannot be huge, totally connected with everything in the supreme without devotional service. So that's the path to try to see God, try to understand God, right? And even though it's a path, it's not like, it's not something instantaneous. It doesn't. It's not something that we can measure when it's gonna happen. It is happening, but it depends of our punya, right? The mercy of past activities also. But if you try to look maybe a few years before in your life, would you say that the process is working?
Oh, I'm definitely more materially frustrated than I was a couple of years ago. So what used to be sweet is becoming bitter.
Yeah, what some people call enlightenment or awakening. It's not so beautiful and easy as people wants to sell on internet, right? It's not so comfortable. Comfortable. I think that this is a word that I'm meditating a lot lately, because honestly, I don't even know where is my comfort zone anymore. I really would like to know. But facing so many different situations and challenges in my personal life that honestly, I really pray to Krishna to have some strength and be able uh, to pass all the tasks that are presented in my life, because the Krishna consciousness makes everything lighter. And even though we know that it's not simple, we know that it's not easy, right?
It makes things lighter, but it's also it's a very heavy process. Like as we go through the process, the realization that we've been away from Krishna for millions and millions of lifetimes, it starts to become bit by bit more tangible. Like we can get the awareness of the gravity of that, that we've been in this material world for millions of years um alone.
Mhm.
Not totally alone, because he's with us, but we've ignored him like grossly. And to it's it's hard to describe, because it's a thing we all want, but it's a thing that we haven't had in so long. And it creates this longing for a thing that we don't quite have familiarity with. It's like it's not like missing a friend you haven't seen in a long time. It's like missing something from so far away that it's hard to put your finger on. It's just this kind of emptiness.
It's hard to describe. I really resonate with this. Because how come something can be so bittersweet at the same time, right? In a way that makes everything easier, but sometimes looks like it's not easy at all, right? What do you think, Manan? don't know, not sure if you were able to open the mic to share some thoughts, but please feel free if you want to.
Hare Krishna. Actually, I did think
Hare Krishna.
it seems that doing bhakti yoga is easier, but sometimes we are that much illusioned that we even doing the bhakti is very hard, I guess, sometimes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sometimes it's blissful, but sometimes it's very hard.
How to describe this, right? It's hard to put in words all these feelings, all these sensations, all this experience, but all came from Krishna, right? Because everything emanates from him. So how vast Krishna consciousness can be. This is what stays in my mind when I think about these things.
Have you seen the video of the raccoon trying to wash the cotton candy? There's raccoons have
No,
this
please send.
raccoons have this habit. They get some food and they want to wash it a little bit. And so this raccoon, he had this big handful of cotton candy and he goes to wash it in the river and it just evaporates in his hands. And you can see him kind of go through the emotions of like, no, no. And
Yeah.
that kind of feels like the experience in the material world. It's like Arjuna was describing it, how he feels like a rent cloud. You know, if you don't have success in either field, if you fail materially, which is just inevitable because, you know, it's like washing cotton candy. It just dissolves. And we haven't yet succeeded spiritually. So at any moment, if we take inventory, I don't know. I really feel like a raccoon that tried to wash his cotton candy and now I just have wet hands, you know, I have nothing. Because I haven't yet succeeded in that spiritual front. But yeah, it's definitely a video worth watching.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, and well, I resonate with this also because sometimes things are so fast. I mean, for me, everything's so most of the time things are so fast that you don't even have time to understand and observe what's happening, and you have to immediately take an action, right? Like the raccoon that doesn't even understand what happened, and there is no sweet anymore. That's funny. Please send this video for us.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful example. Looks like. Should we continue the reading here?
Yeah, I could read.
Thank you.
Where are we in chapter 10, Krishna frames? Is that where we are? Or right after that?
After the identity verses.
After the identity verses, Krishna again completes the frame, saying that he is the bija, seed, primary cause, principle, or origin of all beings. He asks us to understand each and every being that possesses glory, beauty, or true excellence springs from a portion of my splendor. Indeed, with a single portion of myself, I steadily sustain this entire universe. Krishna identifies with the world because he infuses it with his own glory. Yet he stands above and sustains it. I am not in them, they are in me. Creator and creation are one, yet different. In verse 10.7, Krishna uses a key term for the first time, vibhuti. So important is vibhuti that this discussion that I will explain it further. I translate vibhuti as glory, but that only begins to explain this Sanskrit word. In the word vibhuti, the prefix v indicates differentiation, distribution, diffusion, or expansion, and bhuti from the root pu means being, existence, especially flourishing existence, prosperity, might, power, fortune, etc. This composite vibhuti thus indicates flourishing mighty existence that expands, multiplies, and pervades, and hence might, greatness, superhuman power, splendor, glory, magnificence, etc. In chapter 10, Krishna explains that he is the source of gods, sages, and indeed all states of being in this world. He calls this remarkable power his vibhuti, expansive might, etc., and his yoga, mystic power. After hearing Krishna's glories and glorifying him in turn, Arjuna asks to hear more about Krishna's vibhutis. Here is a very literal, if not literary, translation of Arjuna's request. You ought to explain completely your divine personal vibhutis, the vibhutis by which you pervade these worlds. Describe extensively your vibhuti. The Lord replies, Yes, I will describe my divine personal vibhutis. Immediately after this, at 10:20, the identity verses begin. So, for example, when Krishna says, Of trees I am the holy fig tree, we should not conclude that every holy fig tree on earth is the original God, but rather that this type of tree is an exemplary vibhuti, an expansion of Krishna's flourishing creative might and being. After Arjuna repeatedly asks to hear about his vibhutis, Krishna says that he will describe them. Then at chapter's end, Krishna says that he has given just an example of my vibhuti's extent, for there is no end to my divine vibhutis. Indeed, each and every being that has vibhuti, glory, etc., beauty or true excellence, springs from a part of my splendor. Again, Creator is one with creation, yet each glorious creation is but a small part of the Creator's infinite glory. Thus, there is not a hint in the Gita that Krishna is actually Arjuna, that Arjuna is Krishna, that they are one person or one impersonal object, that their individuality is illusion, or that Arjuna has any other ultimate duty or wish than to serve his Lord with devotion. Further, Krishna describes material nature as his inferior energy, because the living souls who animate it, Krishna, his inferior energy below the living souls who animate it. Krishna oversees nature, causing it to act. Those who take shelter in him cross over his illusory material nature. Nature is not God, it belongs to God.
Well, thank you. Something that captured your attention?
Just how these things are described is like just really good examples. What was the exact word about the fig tree? It's it's just an exemplary,
Exemplar.
yeah. It's an exemplary example, Um, like of all mountains, I'm this mightiest mountain. Of all trees, I'm this most wonderful tree. It's
Hmm. This makes me think on that verse that Krishna says that he's the ability, right? Because when Krishna says that he's the ability in each individual, uh, how many different abilities people have, right? Every person is it's great in something different. So how complex Krishna can be, how many different abilities, how many different talents, different skills Krishna can present.
yeah. This sort of question came to my mind today. I was reading the section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the talks with Ramananda Roy, and Lord Chaitanya, he approached Ram Roy to hear, transcendental subjects, and Ram Roy was just so humble. He kept saying things like my tongue is just like a stringed instrument that you're playing, and he kept giving all this credit. I mean, he was speaking just absolutely beautifully and really intelligently, and he obviously had a full understanding of everything. And but he kept saying things like you're the one who's speaking just through me, any understanding or ability I have, it comes from you. Any words that come out of my mouth, you're they're just inspired by you. My intelligence, it all comes from you. And we say things like that a lot about good things. When but when we fall short, where exactly does that come from? Like my own shortcomings. How do I understand those in this same context? Like if I make some decision that allows me to associate more with devotees, that's inspired by Krishna. That's Krishna bringing me closer to him. But if I make some poor decision that inhibits my devotional service, that's on me. And I understand this, but I don't understand it intellectually, shastrically, I guess. I don't know how to actually. I know it's my responsibility, but I want to understand philosophically why I need to take responsibility for my shortcomings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I can try to illustrate. I can try to reply. I'm not sure if you'll be able to. But one point is, yes, you have free will. Other point is you are in the material nature. So you are conditioned by all the material nature, right? This means that not necessarily you act in Sattva Guna. Maybe you be in Rajaguna, right? On the mode of passion. Maybe you be in Tamaguna on the mode of ignorance. I'm saying you, but any person, right? Any person in any moment of their day, their lives. So we have the free will and we know what we need to do. But at the same time, this doesn't mean that all the time we'll be with the best state of consciousness because everything affects us all the time. The Gita also explains the three types of miseries in this world, right? The three types of kleshas. Adibhautika, Adhyatmika, and there was one more. I don't remember right now.
The one that
Do
comes from
you?
other living entities, right?
Other living entities, natural catastrophes, and
The mind?
I'm not sure. I will look onto this. Let me search here. Or are you searching? Ready? No.
I was searching something else that just a kind of
Okay.
addition to what I was saying earlier, how Krishna even says, from me come knowledge and forgetfulness, Um,
Yes.
so when we serve favorably, we're serving Krishna's internal potency. And when we become covered up by the modes of material nature, we just serve the external potency instead, and basically just become an agent of material nature to deliver karma to other people. We just become like a cog in the machine. Um, but we're still serving Krishna ultimately, even even though we're covered in ignorance, we're still an eternal servant. We're just serving unfavorably in a way that doesn't really benefit us. But yeah, that was just to add on to my question a little bit. It's just I don't understand philosophically how to take responsibility for my shortcomings.
Because you're conditioned to the material nature. So you're affected by the material nature all the time. Right? In a short answer would be this. You have your senses, you have the modes of nature, and once the soul is in contact with material nature, you can be influenced by any material mode.
And I guess at that point, we've ultimately lost our free will. Like as soon as we come into contact with material nature, it's really the modes driving us. We don't have the capacity to choose how we want to serve Krishna anymore. We can't serve this way or that way. It's
Yes or
just
no?
no.
Yes or no? It depends. It depends. Like for someone that it's totally immersed in tamaguna, in ignorance, this person won't be able to make a decision. Where stand in your hand? No, but like for someone that, okay, we're here in this group, reading and discussing the book. We have some level of discernment, right? Of okay, I want to read this. I want to discuss about this because this is the direction that I want to go. This is the path that I want to take it. But when you are totally trapped in the ignorance, maybe it's hard to remember, right? Like let's put like this. For someone that is totally blind by anger, this person won't be able to do the best decision. This is what I want to say. This is an example that came to my mind. Like one that is totally blind by anger won't be able to pause and breathe for a while before reply something that may harm others. Because this person, it's okay. This person is conditioned to material nature, and this person is totally dominated by anger, totally dominated by tamaguna. So it becomes harder. So as more we are reading and discussing and try to evolve our consciousness, these patterns are shifting progressively, so we can have some distinction between what it is and what is not, what is happening, which mode is dominating me right now, or what I'm doing right now, why I'm doing this, why I'm not doing that. And this is not something that I partly think that we should use um, for judge others, but much more to understand where we are in our paths and why we are acting in the way that we are acting. You know, trying to have more self-compassion in hardest days and in hardest periods of our life, and also trying to understand, okay, I'm not feeling comfortable, but what will bring me some relief in the situation? What can help me to make a better decision, even though all the situation doesn't look favorable? What I can do, right? How can I be at service? Thinking about the four questions on the book of Vashishka Prabhu that we read on Krishna Gvast Gainzo, maybe.
Yeah, and I guess like that, how can I be of service question? Like if there's two people on the street, and they both have their karma. One of them, their karma is that they're gonna just get in a fist fight today with someone, they're gonna get robbed or something like that. And the other person's karma is that they're gonna get a laddu from a devotee, or some book or something like that. And I guess that's really the choice we have, is do we want to distribute ladus, or you know poor interactions with other people. um I guess I need to figure out how to always be the guy with the ladu.
Exactly, exactly. Like you want to share some relief, you want to share some hope for those around you, or would like to spread anger and uh, what do you want to feed, right? Internally and externally. Thinking about uh, yoga, because this part of the book talks a lot about yoga, thinking about yamas and yamas, the ethics that we need to have with others and with ourselves also. What do I want to feed? To what direction I would like to go? And sometimes, okay, we can have this distinction. We can clearly pause and think, okay, today I want to do this, after I want to do that, go to that place, meet this person. But sometimes we just don't have the time to make the decision. The situations are in front of us, and you need to think quickly in what we do. And then it's much probably that we'll act in the way that we are acting already. So that's the importance of practice devotional service and share some ladus, as you said, instead of share some harsh words. We are so conditioned that we're still acting in the way that we used to act for years. For years, it takes time to change, right? We know this. So, yeah, we need to have faith in the process, and compassion for yourselves, I guess.
Luckily, it comes naturally, I guess, just associating with devotees all the time, avoiding bad association and taking good association. It happens naturally over time. It's just the time factor. Like I'm so impatient. I wish I could just chant Hare Krishna all the time. I wish I could just, be a devotee already, instead of let's practice, practice, practice.
That's interesting. I remember that once my spiritual master said to me, so Krishna himself, it's manifest through time, Kala. So we need to understand that we don't control everything. It's not everything in our time, but in the time of Krishna. So I really hope that this brings some relief for you,
Yeah.
because this bring me relief for many years since I've heard this.
Well, even in the spiritual world, people spend so much time waiting, waiting for Krishna to get back, waiting for this thing to start, or waiting for that, or waiting, like in the spiritual world, waiting is half the fun, you know, I guess. Like every day
Follow
the
your
cowherd
path
boys
until
had to go
here.
home.
Please go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, every day at the end of the day, all the cowherd boys, they had to go home, and then they had to wait 12 hours before they could go out and play with Krishna again. And then the parents, their children would leave, and then they had to wait for 12 hours for their children to get back, and everyone was just wondering when is Krishna going to come over that hill? They would wait all day for Krishna to see the cloud of dust coming, to let them know that Krishna was on his way back. They would wait all day, every day, all the time, just waiting for Krishna. So
Yeah. This makes me think about the passage of time for us and how this can be different in other universes, right? Like the passage of time of Lord Brahma is totally different. So we need to be patient. We need to try to cultivate this patience in order to be patient. Yeah, that's it. Any final considerations? I was thinking that we should try to finish this chapter and maybe discuss on the next meeting. Like maybe read for the week and then discuss on the next meeting. What do you think, Banu?
to
Manan,
to finish
not
finish the
sure how is
chapter.
the time of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this chapter, no, sorry, this part. Because the part 6, it's huge, right?
Yeah, my thinking is that there's no guarantee whoever shows up next week is going to have read it.
Yeah, I can try to text on the group. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would try to text and suggest on the group. So we see what's possible. All right. So thank you all for coming. I'm sorry, any fault. Manan, I was reading here. I'm sorry. Happily, Bana saw your message on the group and told. So that's it. Thank you for your time, your association.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.